Hey everyone, it's Evan here from the Trade Risk on Tuesday, July 11th. We're intraday right now, got a couple of hours before the market close, and I threw out a question on Twitter, StockTwits, asking for your tickers, what you guys were watching, what you wanted to get reviewed in this video, and I got a very fast list here. So that tells me that many people are bored on this summertime trading, light volume sessions. Last time, I think I got four or five tickers last time I asked this, and this time I got 20 in just the time it took me to go to the kitchen and come back. So I'm going to try and talk quick. We get a lot of names. I might break this up into two videos. If I missed you, sorry. I probably may have just cut you off just because too many tickers were coming in. So let's jump into it. So the first was Bitcoin, and I think GBTC was the ask, and I'm going to go right to sort of the horse's mouth here and go right to Coinbase Bitcoin market. I'm going to use their exchange here, and I'm looking at TradingView for this. So this is the chart of Bitcoin here. This is a weekly time frame, and you can see just this year from 2017, we've gone from approximately $800 all the way up to $3,000. So an incredible run, and we're currently in this consolidation phase, which I view as extremely healthy. So on the weekly chart, you can see we're kind of just in this triangle here. We're tightening up over the past, call it 6 weeks or so. We've just consolidated between more or less 2,300 to 2,800. That's where most of the volume has taken place. If we go down to a daily chart, you can see this is what things look like right now. So clearly we have some support here on this trend line. We've had some washout lows back from the 27th of May, June 15th, and then more recently we're kind of coming down and challenging that trend line. So for the bullish, optimistic, most bullish case here, we would say let's hope that Bitcoin holds this trend line and then eventually gets this breakout higher. Nice continuation pattern. If that's not the case, if we do start to break down, I mean, again, just keep the long term in context here. We've had basically a 400% move this year, or maybe more or less. I don't know, my math could be off right now, but a 61.8% retrace would really bring us down to, call it 1,600. So to me, Bitcoin, let it consolidate, let it pull back, let it take its time, because we do have this just very bullish long-term trend in place. So that's the way I would approach it. Again, if you're trading this more actively, then yes, you can use that daily time frame. If it starts breaking below this trend line here, then you have some shorting opportunities. If you want to play that momentum to the downside, 8 and 20 period are lower here, bearishly aligned on the daily chart. So I guess it depends on your time horizon and depending on how active you're looking to be in this space. So that's my thoughts on Bitcoin. Let's get back. I think everything else is a regular stock, no cryptocurrency besides Bitcoin. So next up is Costco. And again, I'm going to assume everyone's kind of looking at a daily time frame here. So that's the assumption I'm going to make. If you're day trading, if you're looking at something for an investment, then the opinion or sort of time frame strategy is skewed just a bit. So just a friendly reminder on that. So next up, Costco. So Costco here, we're going to look at a weekly chart first, and this thing has been under some selling pressure. Notice the uptick in volume here. So we've seen a very violent move off of the highs here that we were at just a couple of weeks ago. So the way I view Costco here is you kind of have this trend line channel that comes in. Again, that's probably a little more visible on a monthly chart, but you have this sort of trend line here that kind of comes in and connects all these little washout lows from the past couple of years. And you can see we're just coming into that right now. I'd also just pay attention to this, more or less this very flat horizontal level of support, this area of support. So again, for those of you who have followed my work, I don't look at things in an exact formation. I'm looking more at areas and kind of draw the lines with crayons, but anywhere from 140 to, call it 145, anywhere in here, this could be a magnet for Costco. I know a lot of people are looking to buy the dip. Maybe sentiment isn't yet bearish enough here. I think a lot of people want to get excited, want to get involved in this name, rightfully so, and it is extremely oversold, but I would still, personally, I would still be looking at maybe further washout down to 140, 145 to see that max pain kind of get inflicted. It is oversold though. Again, tactically, if you're looking to sort of get more action out of this, you could probably be involved in this spot now, maybe looking for some bounces along the way. But I would look at these bigger targets down here right around the lows from 2016 or so. So that's Costco. Next up, IBB. And these are all the tickers that came in through StockTwits, so I'm going to cover these first. So IBB, I'm involved in it. We're long it, so we're long IBB as a disclosure. So weekly chart, you can see here we had this great volume expansion breakout for the week of the 23rd of June. Very high volume, above a significant level, and we're just in the process of consolidating right now. So for me, I'm looking for that higher low to get put in. I'm looking for dip buyers to basically step in here. Now, we got involved in this, I think it was back on one of these days, and basically right where price is trading now is I think where we are long. So it is taking a little bit longer. We didn't get quite a V-shaped rally or an immediate dip buy. It is taking its time here, so something to pay attention to. But again, I'm sticking with this long for now. If we started to break down and trade back down to call it 304 or so, that'd probably be my level to exit from sort of a tactical momentum swing trading approach. But again, IBB I think is doing all the right things that it should be. Look at the volume pattern here on the daily chart. It's tough not to get excited when you see something like that break out above a large level, pull back to the 20 period, letting it catch up. So I like it, I'm long it, and hopefully it'll continue to work. So that was IBB. Next, let's go to FSLR. This is First Solar. So weekly chart, we'll start there first. You can see 8 and 20 period bullishly aligned. We're off of the lows. We're trending higher here, so I do like that. We do have some resistance here. This pivot high here, about 42.50 or so from the October 2016 levels, that's right above us, so maybe a slight concern there. You can see we had this nice move higher throughout May. We pulled back, we broke back out, and then we're kind of just hanging out here. So I don't want to see a rollover. The fact that we kind of broke back above these highs here and then just went sideways again, as opposed to kind of continuing strong, that maybe is a slight little worry there. But I think everything is fine here from the weekly chart, and I think even from a daily chart, I like it. I really just don't want to see a complete rollover here. So really, if we lose $38, I'd call it, is my line in the sand. Again, depending on how tight you want to manage this trade, you could loosen that up. But as long as we're above $38, I'd give it the benefit of the doubt, and I like FSLR. But if we start to roll over here, we lose all of this supply here at highs, then we'd have to look back at $35 as a potential retest. So I like it above 38. Let's see if it can continue. AGTC. So here is one I have never heard of before, and I didn't really look at any of these beforehand, so I didn't do any prep for this. So AGTC, this is definitely not my wheelhouse. This is a $90 million company, so I don't traditionally look at stocks like this, particularly biotech. You can see on the monthly chart, it's been just basically a spiral lower. If I look back on the daily chart, I don't see much here. It's just been a persistent downtrend. Maybe if we were to throw on MACD or RSI, there's probably some RSI divergences that might be, some momentum divergences that might be triggering right now as it comes back and retests these lows. So that's all I'd give you. If we can hold on to these lows, if we can actually, find some support here in this stock, that would be the first step that I would pay attention to. So that was AGTC. I think that was everything from StockTwits, or at least that's where I cut it. There may have been a couple more. So let's get to Twitter. So SWIR. So this is Sierra Wireless here. If we go to the weekly chart, you can see I like the pattern here. I like this volume on this upside breakout throughout the beginning of 2017. We've gone sideways. We've held high and tight. I like the look here on the weekly time frame. Don't want to see it get too much weaker, right? We don't want to see it, for my preference, at $27. That would be a big line in the sand there. If it started to roll over, that would just give me more pause, more concern. Doesn't mean the whole trend has to reverse. Just tell me that it's probably in for a choppier sideways kind of range. So that's the weekly chart. I like it. Daily chart, I think you just refine your levels here. So yeah, again, I think 27 is a pretty good level. If it lost that, I would be much less interested, although the trade maybe would not be over. But I like it. You can see it's starting to perk up now, depending on if you're involved in it already. does make sense versus 28. If you want to add to it above 29.50, $30, that makes sense too. So SWIR trend momentum, it's there. Let's see if it just holds up going forward. Next, CIEN. So here, weekly chart. Wow, this one. So I'm not familiar with this name. So this one here, I mean, 7 years, it hasn't been able to break out here. So this one definitely got that sideways gradual grind higher here, but clearly this 27, call it $28 is a huge level for it going back, 7 years now. So for me, this one, it's kind of an interesting one. This probably wouldn't be on my trading vehicle. Look how many ebbs and flows. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of back and forth here on this weekly chart, so it'd just be a little suspect there. But on the daily chart, got this gap higher from June. It's holding up. You kind of got this double bottom here where it looks like this gap wants to hold. So again, I think if we're looking at levels to trade against, I think the levels here are pretty clear, 24.50, 24.25. I think if it's above there, I think this could, continue to try and work itself higher. We're at the top end of this range. So maybe we get, maybe this time is different. Maybe we get the big breakthrough here for CIEN above this $27 level or so. But for me, probably not my prime type of trading candidate. So that's CIEN. Next, SPWR. So here's another solar name. I know these have been hot here. Again, weekly chart. You got the nice kind of volume pushing off these lows. You've had a nice run throughout. Throughout basically since April of this year, we've traded from $6 all the way up to $9. So nice gain there. Daily chart, again, holding up. It's trying to emerge from this pattern here. I think this $9 level, 9.25 level, this is a pretty important level, and the market's clearly telling us that. Since October of 2016, we failed. So this has been resistance. We did get above it briefly, but now we're back below it. So again, I would really want us to see us back above 9.25 or so. I like the overall structure, but I'd like to see a little more proof here before I would really want to get involved in this. So that's my take on it. 9.25. That's more or less the level. MOMO, this is MOMO. So this one here, I've been watching this one myself. Weekly chart thing is beautiful. You can see nice uptrend here. We're at all-time highs. Good volume pattern. A lot of volume here on this recent right side as it's pulled back, though. That's not ideal, but it is holding up right now, and it's tough to argue with price right here. So, $35, $36 is a pretty clear support level. It's trying to lift right now. I'm not sure when earnings are, and I'm not sure what earnings are on any of these companies. So again, keep that in mind as we're going through all these. Check those dates because we do have earnings coming up. But MOMO, I like it. It's got trend, it's got momentum, so it's tough not to like it. Tesla, I think this came up on a couple of different requests. So for Tesla, so all-time highs recently, right? Strong performer. It's had a monster run for most of all of this year, basically. We got all the way as high as up to about 387 or so, and then we came kind of crashing down pretty hard, pretty high volume over the past several sessions. Now, for me personally, this was a candidate for me below 300. I was looking for that extreme kind of washout, and I was looking to play any type of reversal off that, below $300. We got close. We got down to about 303 before it ended up reversing yesterday, and now it's come back up here and filled the gap. So for me, from an active swing trading approach, it's still hands off right now. This high volume breakdown, I want to see the dust settle a little bit more. This bounce here is warranted. It was extremely oversold. It kind of came into this $300 level of support. So this bounce makes sense. Let's see how much more of a bounce it can get. Can it get back up to some of these fast moving averages? Does it roll over from here immediately? I would ideally like to see even a retest of this 300 level, or maybe just more sideways, some more proof that it's really ready to stabilize here. So for me, the reversal, the quick high momentum snapback reversal, I was looking for under $300. It happened above it, so now it's just a waiting game. I'm not involved in it. Weekly chart, again, you can see there's plenty of support and reason to bounce over here. So I would not be surprised if it started to lift. But from my strategy approach, I just don't see too much with it. I want to respect this breakdown and let the dust settle. If it moves sideways, builds a base, and then starts to leg higher again, that might be a new entry for me. Short term, you day traders or even shorter term 1-2 day pops, it makes sense. There's probably plenty of action here for Tesla. Next up, MDR, so oil and gas name. Weekly chart, you can see, is in the process of making higher lows, higher highs, pretty much. You got a kind of this top here that it's trying to get back up and get to retest $6 or so. That's the recent higher low there on the weekly chart. And then on the daily, we just broke up above the $7 level nicely. Resistance here of a multi-week range. So I do like this breakout above $7. I like this potential higher low here. So it's back in motion to get to these 2017 highs. I like it. So MDR, I think, looks pretty good. Next up, NTES. So NTES here is, again, in the tech sector. Weekly chart, you can see this thing up and to the right. Looks good. Higher lows, higher highs. On the daily chart, had a bit of a pullback here off of these 337 highs that it made. And it's trying to lift now. It's not, I don't see any... Just again, per my strategy, per my setup, I don't see any glaring kind of buy entry clean setup here, but it is acting well. It's doing sort of everything that it needs to do. So I like it from a trend perspective. Momentum looks like it's regaining it now. So again, I'm a fan of getting back above bullishly aligned 8 and 20 period moving averages. So I would need a little more time there, but again, I think it's a pretty good candidate. Alibaba, so this is one, again, disclosure, I am long, so I of course like it if I am long. If we scroll out here, look at that weekly chart, you can see just a monster move higher here over this course of this year. And recently it's put in this nice consolidation here for about, I'd say a few weeks or so, all of June basically. And just today it's starting to poke its head above and potentially making new all-time closing highs. So I like Alibaba. Again, I'm long it. We got long yesterday, actually. We got long yesterday. Cheated a bit on this breakout, right? Didn't quite get that new all-time high breakout like we generally wait for or sometimes wait for, but I liked the resolve of sort of this double inside day to the upside. So we kind of had those two inside days, nice strong close yesterday, showing some outperformance. So that was our entry. We got in yesterday. We're long it, looking for more. Two left. Amazon. So Amazon next here. Weekly chart, let's zoom out on it. It's been a complete monster. It's finally stalled out a bit at this $1,000 price level. And you can see it's just kind of been choppy up here for the past, 6 or 7 weeks or so. To me, I don't see too much of an actionable spot right here. We're kind of just in the middle of a range. If it breaks out, again, it's I don't see a clear setup here. We got earnings coming up soon. So I think above these highs, above $1,000 and 10-12 or so, 10-15, whatever those highs were. Again, from a trend and momentum standpoint, it's tough to not like it on the long side. But for me, I would like just a little more sideways, a little bit tighter action. I like to see this compress a little bit more. If it just started to race higher above 1,000, then, it's probably going to do it without me. But I like it. Tough to go wrong with fighting it. And then finally, CTSH. So not all that familiar with this one. Let's go to the weekly chart here. You can see back to the highs of 2015 or getting close to it. Again, these are all unadjusted charts for dividends. So if you're looking at a different platform, your charts might be skewed just a little bit when looking at those long-term time frames. So CTSH, we're getting back up to these prior highs. There's likely to be some resistance up here. It's had this nice move, very sharp move up throughout April and May. And it's consolidating. So I like it. It's got trend in its favor. It's recently consolidated here. It's got some clear levels over here. So I like it for that breakout or for kind of buying at the bottom end of this range or buying a breakout through these highs. I think it looks good there, CTSH on multiple time frames. So that's it. Thanks everyone that endured this very long video. Thanks everybody for participating. This killed some time in my day as markets are pretty slow today for some of my holdings. And I think that's it. So thanks again. And if I missed your ticker, I will double check those streams. Maybe I'll put out another video later today. So thanks again. Enjoy the rest of the day and talk to you again soon.